Okay, this is the second part of the directions for the Romeo and Juliet multi-paragraph essay. So next up it says main body paragraphs. And again, you're going to have two, probably, main body paragraphs, up to four. And you're going to set them up the same way that we've been writing the one paragraph essays. So first you do need, where's my pen? You do need a topic sentence. So you need to let the reader know what this particular paragraph is going to be about. And the topic sentence is going to include one of those main points that you had in your thesis statement, just broken down into the various ways that you're going to have it in this particular paragraph. Because you are going to have several supporting details for each of the points in your thesis statement. The next part would be your first supporting detail number 1. And then you have your example, which is either going to be your quote or paraphrase. And then you're going to have your commentary, which is how you're explaining in your own words some idea from your head, how your example helps to prove your overall theme, your overall main idea. And then you're going to have supporting detail number 2 and another example and commentary. And this last part is optional, okay? Because 2 supporting details per main body paragraph are fine, but you could have 3. Supporting detail number 3 with an example and commentary. And then before you move on to your next paragraph, you have to have your conclusion sentence. So you have to summarize what you've said in just this paragraph alone. So conclusion sentence. And that's just reiterating this on the side here. 3 supporting details is great, but 2 to 6 is fine. So 2 is completely acceptable. So main body paragraph review here, supporting detail and example sentences, we can combine them. They do not have to be separate. So the supporting detail and example, supporting detail, you just say the idea. So the next way that you're showing yada yada is through such and such. As shown when blah 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 blah. So you can actually combine it with your example if you want it. So they can be combined. Example sentences can either be a quote or in your own words, which is again paraphrase. And commentary sentences are your explanation of how the example proves your theme. All quotes must be cited, okay, and introduced. Remember, you can't start a sentence with a quote. So never start a sentence with a quote. Quotes must end the sentence. Never continue a sentence after a quote. And here are the 2 ways that you can introduce a quote. The first way is the easiest. The second way is what I want you to aim for. It's a little bit more difficult, but it sounds better. So the first way is to explain what the quote is about to say. Explain what quote is about to say. Like, Steinbeck describes Lenny in animal-like terms by saying, Lenny dabbled his paw in the water. Okay, and you do have your little, your dialogue tag, you're separating it from the actual quote with the little comma there. So explaining what the quote is about to say. The second way is use the quote to end your own explanation sentence. Okay. So Steinbeck foreshadows Lenny's troubles early in the novel when Lenny has broken the mouse pet net. Okay, so the quote actually is worked into the functioning of the sentence. Same thing with the other one. As Lenny continues to crush Curly's fists, he turns white and shrunken, his fists lost in Lenny's paw. So there's no stopping, no commas needed, because it's all part of the same sentence. It just works together, sounds great. This is really the type of quote intros you should be working towards. And again, the ... ellipses indicating that we've left something out, which you could do, and the brackets indicating we've changed the wording a little bit in the quote, which again, you could do. So change anything in order for it to fit the functioning of your sentence. Commentary. So, each piece of commentary must individually prove your theme, aka your main idea, without retelling the story. Okay, so don't just tell me what happened in Romeo and Juliet. Instead, it has to be an idea from your head. And again, commentary is hard. But here is an example of a theme, and this was actually from Romeo and Juliet, so it kind of gives you an idea. This person is proving that hasty decisions lead to downfall. And it's a great theme. Don't feel afraid just because I said, ooh, that's my theme. You can use it if you want to. So if you like that theme, go for it. Just don't use the same examples I used. But, so acting quickly without thinking leads to bad consequences is the theme. And her example, is that Romeo meets Juliet at the party and immediately falls in love with her. Okay. That's something that happens in the book. Now, this commentary is not good. After the initial meeting, the lovers fall in love regardless of the enemy name. It's just restating the obvious. Okay, so there's no analysis present, no original thoughts. So restating what's already been said, no analysis. Great commentary instead. This is what instead you should be doing. Okay, so the example again is that Romeo meets her at the party and falls in love with her. And good commentary from your head might be something like this. By not taking the time to consider the long-standing feud and the enemy status of his newfound love interest, Romeo ruins the possibility of finding a suitable mate in the future. The spur-of-the-moment decision to begin a relationship with an enemy also risks his chances of stability and happiness as a Montague leader in his family and in Verona. Okay, so this is coming from the girl's head. She's thinking about why might this example be such a bad thing? How could it be terrible? So this is not stated in the book. This is totally from her own head. Okay, but does it work? Absolutely. It's proving the theme with creative analysis, which is, again, what I want you to be doing. So think, okay? I know sometimes it's hard. You want to just find the answer in a book, but instead I want you to think outside the box. What can you use to prove your idea? Okay, moving on, the conclusion paragraph. It should not repeat any key phrases found elsewhere. And it does not introduce new ideas. Okay, so fine line. You want to reiterate your main ideas without using the same wording. Okay, make sure you're not introducing new stuff. In the conclusion, we're reversing the order. So in the intro, we went from very general, we're not even talking about Romeo and Juliet yet, to specific. But now we're going to go from specific to general. Okay, so again, just like the intro, you have 3 parts. Okay, so part 1, summarize the theme and main points that you've used within the essay. Part 2 is to transition, okay, into how this theme is important in society. And then third, we are ending with why the reader should care. So why, some big impact statement is what you want to make. So, is it necessary for historical reasons? Is it necessary, tie it to the reader in some way, shape, or form. And I have given you some ideas here, that people have found helpful down at the bottom. little starter statements for your impact statement at the end. So you could see if any of these might work for you for creating a reason for your reader to care. Okay, and on to the specifics for the essay itself. So again, like I said, you're coming up with a minimum of 4 paragraphs, okay, and a max of 6. So if you want to go for a 5-paragraph essay, awesome, but the minimum would be 4. And make sure that you do have a thesis statement that has the theme. Okay, so you're coming up with your own theme, whatever you want your theme to be, based on Romeo and Juliet. And if you have a 4-paragraph essay, you're going to have 2 ideas in your theme, which are going to be developed into main body paragraphs. If you have a 5-paragraph essay, you have 3 ideas present in your thesis statement. So look at these example thesis statements. And again, don't feel afraid to use these if you like the idea. You could definitely come up with your own information, but you could use one of these too if you're like, I don't know what to do. So here's the first one. In Romeo and Juliet, William Shakespeare portrays the idea that relationships strengthen moral character. Ooh, interesting idea. So relationships improve people morally. And then they're breaking it down in 3 ways: through family, romantic, and friendly relationships. So that would be a 5-paragraph essay. Okay, if you wanted to make this a 4-paragraph essay, just take off one of the ideas. Okay, and then it becomes a 4-paragraph essay. The next sentence, thesis statement, William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet develops the idea that impulsiveness leads to negative consequences through situations involving. We'd have a Romeo paragraph, a Juliet paragraph, and a Paris paragraph. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so that is what we're going to be working on. I think that's all I wanted to go over for right now. If you have questions, you can bring them up in the chat room that I created at the specified time, or you can email me, or you can Skype me during our scheduled hour. So hope this helps. Miss you guys. Bye.